Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher.
Yo, dog. Great to be here.
Mike Haspel.
I may or may not be muted right now.
And Kevin from the Basement Collective.
Hey, what's going on from Canada?
Oh, we're all about that.
Canada.
Healthcare.
I know. I'm so jealous. Oh, man. So, Mike, you got snow, but how's everybody else doing?
Well, today it was raining up here in northern Canada.
What?
Which means all schools were canceled, the airport shut down, right? Because that's a lot of ice. Because rain.
I was about to say,
ice.
when you say rain, you mean freezing apocalypse.
No, I meant like it was straight up raining, downpouring when I woke up this morning. Because it's weird this year. It's warm some days, and then it's cold, and it's just like Mother Nature is like, I don't know what's up.
No, yeah, I think we're pretty much seeing that everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. We had so much snow the other week, and then now it's like, what was it, 70 today?
It was so warm today. It was raining today, and I was walking around outside, no jacket on, just getting rained on, just fine.
Like, listen to this. I went outside to brush off the car this morning. It had snowed overnight, and then it had rained in the morning, and the rain kind of made some ice on top of the snow. And I had like a $20 like snow pusher thing. I don't know what you call it. First pushing that heavy ice snow, snapped the thing right in half. So I'm standing there in the middle while it's downpouring, holding this brush by hand, trying to like scrape the ice snow off of it. It was rough.
I think we call it an ice scraper.
Yeah, is that what it is?
I think that's basically the technical term.
Okay.
I'm definitely.
You identified it when you said, I don't know, ice pusher, and then you said, then I tried to scrape it off.
No, it wasn't the scraper part that broke. It was that little bristly thing, the brush part.
The brush? Nobody brushes ice.
Yeah, but you don't.
I guess curling. I guess curling. I guess you're Canadian, so you're all about curling, right? Isn't that like brushing ice?
I've been curling once. It's rough. It's not fun at all.
It's an actual sport.
It doesn't look fun. I won't lie.
Dude, it's like learning how to sweep. It's like housewife training.
Let me, which is mildly offensive, but I guess in Canada it's fine.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We're allowed to be racist against housewives.
I don't think that's true.
How far? Let me just ask you. This is a super serious question. How many minutes would it take you to walk to the North Pole?
To walk to the North Pole. Where are you located in? You're located in Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be quicker for you to walk to Florida than for me to walk to the North Pole.
There's no way that's possible.
Oh, wait, let's do this out. I'm gonna hop on Google right here. From Sudbury to the North Pole. Oh, now you guys know where I live.
Oh, that was the whole.
Sounds
place.
like Ontario land.
See, because there's just no way because North Pole is in Canada.
Ontario is pretty much like New York. Let's be honest.
1 second here. Location of the North Pole. Apparently, the North Pole is not a Google.
Not searchable.
Yeah.
But you can put in Mordor. That doesn't.
You can put in Mordor. That doesn't.
But you can't put the North Pole.
I don't know, man. 1 second here. The North Pole is technically. You know what? I'll figure this out and I will let you guys know.
You're probably thinking like Mercator projections and stuff, Kenny, because remember how everything's like distorted towards the poles?
Yeah.
In most maps.
Turns out Greenland's really not that big.
Also, I learned recently
not the size of Africa.
I also learned when in maps, especially in America, make everything in America look really big and everyone else look really small.
Yeah. Oh, wait, 1 second. Here we go.
400 miles. That's my bet.
I think it's more than that.
Copy. Maps. Okay, we're going to go here. We're going to go from Sudbury to...
Hudson Bay is like 400 miles long.
I can get to South Florida. I can get to my parents' house in like 12 hours. 13 hours.
All right. Well, like... It's a lot farther. I'm looking at a map right here, guys, and I'm telling you it is a lot farther.
There probably isn't a freeway to the North Pole either.
I said walking, dog. I didn't say anything about no drive.
Okay, well,
okay.
It is probably 3 times as long for me to get to the North Pole than I needed to walk to Florida.
All right, I believe you just because you're Canadian, and that means you have a better education system than I do.
Well, throw up Google Map, type in Ellesmere Island, which is the farthest North Canadian city, or the farthest North Canadian thing you can search, and then look at the map, and you'll see.
All right. I mean, I concede. Like, I just recognized that, like, I don't have a real education. I went to public school in America.
Yeah.
Brutal.
So what you do is we walk up there and we find the Wulfen and we bring him back.
Yes.
That's right.
Out of the demon portals.
Where Santa lives. Santa is actually a demon prince.
Oh my God, he obviously is. Krampus. Bringing it full circle, though. Rob, break it down. What's this episode?
So this episode is entitled "Wulfen Are People Too,"
or elves,
or elves, or demons, whichever. And we're gonna talk all about the Wulfen because everybody's talking about how OP they are already and all that stuff. But they're good. I think they're good. We've been talking about it for a while now, but a lot more stuff has broken in the White Dwarf now that we can actually see it in English and comprehend it in the Queen's English and our American Englishes.
Hold up, I speak German.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't think it translates the same because a lot of folks were like posting stuff up from the German translations, and it just didn't make the same sense.
Let me just say this: back in the old days when I knew some people were really abusive at 40k back in the like 4th edition, who would come to like the Gladiator event at Adepticon with like a German FAQ and get it pre-approved. That would because things were just a little off because of the translation.
Is that true?
I knew a guy, no names, played him in the Gladiator Adepticon one year when this is like back in the day, man, like 4th edition, and he was playing Necrons with his monoliths, and he had a German FAQ that said that the living metal rule, how you could remember basically the living metal rule said you never could add the extra D6, like basically for strength. Mm-hmm. So basically, the interpretation there was melted guns and chain fizz didn't work on monoliths back in 4th edition. And he had an FAQ that also said power fists, anything that changed your strength. He was like literally a German FAQ that was worded just right. And they said, yeah, that's legal. So he was playing the whole Gladiator tournament with monoliths literally
unkillable,
right? And I was like, damn, that's pretty good, man. That's still a big deal. Like, I guess that's pretty good. But I was playing, remember Chapter Approved back in those days, Rob?
Yep.
I was playing the minor psychic power table from Chapter Approved.
Oh yeah, you can take multiples of that.
You can literally buy as many as you wanted unlimitedly, and there were 10 points a roll. So it was the original like psychic power chart that was random. Before, like, this is back in the day when like psychic powers were not like anything people cared about. In 4th edition, like people didn't care about psychic powers; they just weren't a big part of the game. And I've always been obsessed with psychic powers, and so this was like a chart that had like 10 psychic powers on it, and you can buy and it was a roll, like all like proceeding all the way to where we are now, where everything's random on the charts. It was a roll. You could buy one roll on the chart. So I literally would buy I bought a Demon Prince back in the 4th edition Chaos Space Marine Codex. Got him like demonic stature. I'd always buy the Eternal Warrior demonic Eternal Warrior demonic trait, and I would buy him like the extra wound. That was it, and demonic speed. No other powers. And then I would buy him like 250 powers in the second power table.
Ooh, can we take a walk down memory lane real quick?
Because there was no limit to how many times you can how many psychic powers you can cast. There was no warp charges, nothing. And nobody brought psychic hoods, nobody brought anything. And so I had like a dope ass army. I had like a Land Raider full of cool Terminators, Typhus in it, or actually just a cool Lord. Had some Plague Marines running around Rhinos, but I had this Demon Prince that was like insane, right? And I would just hide him, right? And then I would roll my powers, and he would get like this. There was ability on there that was literally like movement. Your movement was doubled. So demonic speed was like you charged 12 inches. So now I move 12 and charge 12, right?
Could you stack those?
No.
Your double movement is doubled?
Your movement phase was doubled. So like basically my Demon Prince, but it was no random element. Like if you were 24 inches away from my Demon Prince, he charged you. There was no like, I'm 12 inches away, you have to roll a 12. It was, no, I got you, dog. Like,
was that called Fleet Foot?
Fleet of Foot or Fleet Foot or something like that, yeah. And then there was one called Hammer Hand or some shit. And it literally doubled your strength.
It was like called Iron Arm.
Iron Arm, the original Iron Arm.
The original Iron Arm.
And so I would get those two powers, and literally later, I mean, I had all the powers, but those are the only two powers I needed. Like, I would just first turn charge you, then blow up all your shit while I distract you. And so he was all like, well, you do realize, like, nothing, you don't have like doubling this and that. Okay. I was like, yeah, no big deal, man. I literally rolled up on this Necron army. Remember, what was a big problem with the Necron armies back and forth edition, my castle?
Phase out.
Phase out, son. He's like, yeah, you can't blow up these two. He had 2 monoliths. I was like, oh man, that's gonna be so hard. And then like on turn 3, he was phased out.
Well, actually, I don't think it was that. I think it was a warp time, the original warp time.
Warp time. I forgot about warp time. That was my shit.
2d6 to his movement in the movement phase. If unsuccessful, the psyker may not move at all. Oh no.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Warp speed.
I started right at the beginning of 6, so this is all foreign to me.
This was chapter approved was like the first book that came out without all these optional rules in it, and the old Gladiator tournament let you play all this shit, and so they let you play anything you wanted.
Remember the what were the psychic power things? The possessors, what were they called? Oh crap. That was like a big thing at Adepticon. They're like, are you gonna allow, what were those things? They were little, like, they would take things over. They would take over units.
I can't remember. It was just, there were so many things. Like I ended up getting out of the Gladiator just because like it was so intense. But I just remember those days, like just being just crazy stuff. I'm just saying, and I was just, this whole tangent is based on the German. You're like, oh, I can read German. I was like, let me just say, this guy made it to the final round of the Gladiator because he was exploiting a German FAQ.
I can't believe people would do that. That's worse than 3 Wraith Knights.
That is worth the 3 Wraith Knights.
Man. I mean, just the power levels creeped up, but people's, extreme couponing, so to speak, hasn't. Like,
I was like,
all cossism.
I was like, what's your phase out number? This. I was like, thank you, sir. I don't care about your monoliths. It was hilarious. But anyway, that's hilarious to talk about.
I'm racking my brain trying to remember what those things were. They were like insects. They were psychic, and you could take possession of people's models. Dang it, what were they? Anyways, but yeah, let's cover some ground on this Wulfen stuff.
Let's start the show off right. Don't forget to skip Tabletop Marketplace like you did last week.
We actually have stuff to talk about.
I know you want to talk about Wulfen, but we also have Tabletop Marketplace. So Rob, please lead us in a discussion.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I meant, because I'm actually looking at the Wulfen products. That's what I wanted. That's really what I wanted to talk about. So there's a lot of stuff coming out. Obviously, next week there's 11 new box sets. I think 4 or 5 or 11 new products. 4 or 5 of them are reboxes. But then you've got the Curse of the Wulfen, the limited edition collector's version of it. You've got the Demon collector's version of it. You got the Wulfen box itself. And there's like a new transfer sheet, a new gallery print, a new short story book that's hardcover. It's a little bit pricey. Then there's the Demon data cards. And before we get into the Wulfen products, I think we should talk about Demons real quick, because when you start looking at all these pictures and things that are broken, it starts like you start piecing together what the offerings are going to be for this stuff. And it's really interesting because there's under the demon cards, the demon data cards, it says there are also 7 psychic powers. So
basically, we've already seen pictures that the Primarises look the same.
They do.
But there's only 3 psychic powers for each of the cults right now. So that means they're saying there's 21 new cards. Yep. Meaning the Primarises are the same as confirmed, and everyone gets 6 powers. And even if they kept the 3 powers we know the same, that means there's 9. I mean, there's potentially new psychic powers,
Mm-hmm.
See, I felt ripped off when they released the Grey Knight cards. Or was it help me out, guys. Were the psychic powers in the Grey Knight deck new? Or did those come out? No, those came out after the 7th edition, eh?
Yeah, those are new.
Yeah, so they basically stole, like, what was it? Demonology. Santic was basically the Grey Knight stuff.
So why don't they just throw the Malefic ones into the demons and call it a day? Like, it should be equal treatment.
I believe fundamentally in my heart that should be the case.
And what's interesting too is just a quick note, because some people have pointed it out to me, is like in the Grey Knight thing, banishment is like 3 warp charges, like in the Grey Knight cards or whatever. But in the normal cards, they're fine.
Oh, is it 1 warp charge?
It's 1 warp charge. But if there's a misprint.
Oh, I was at a tournament recently, and I was like, okay, I was playing demons. I'm like, okay, I got 2 warp charges left. Might as well use banishment. I roll up, and a 3 showed up, and I was like, well, that's really dumb, because I got 2 successes. And I looked at the card, I was like, oh, so I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, it's actually a 1.
Could have happened.
It's okay. We still tabled them, but Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad you made sure that I guess they were demons that the heretics knew no mercy.
I was playing
Exactly.
Eldar with Eldrad. I had
I
banishment because
I retract my previous statement.
I
Yeah.
needed some gates of infinity to throw around my flamers.
Of course you did.
Okay, so what about these cards or these Wulfen here?
21 psychic power cards with 36 tactical objective cards. Now, what's even more curious, and we didn't touch on this on the webcast, listen to this. So you get the 32-page Scions of the Warp booklet, and this is in the limited edition, Grimoire edition, that's only limited to 500 copies. So you get the Scions of the Warp booklet, which is all the Chaos Demon rules from the Warzone Fenris Curse of the Wolf. This includes 10 new Chaos Demon formations, and we've seen 2 of them, and 6 data sheets. So apparently we're getting 6 new demon units.
Oh my god, I'm literally losing my mind.
Is it going to be updates of current rules?
Don't know.
No idea.
No
Oh
idea.
yes, I'm just gonna give you yes.
And-
I work at GW. Yes.
New Warlord traits for the Gods of Chaos, along with updated Hellforged artifacts and psychic powers.
Updated, so they might actually. You think is that addition? Updated means it can be a replacement.
Or just, hey, instead of 3, now you got 7 psychic powers, with the
'Cause
Primaris.
Everyone expects Grimoire to get nerfed eventually. So
Wow.
Do you think they're going to be? No, I was going to talk about doing something with the Slanesh tribe, but that happened in Warhammer Fantasy, not 40k. So ignore that.
Slanesh is most definitely in this because they hinted in one of the pictures of the White Dwarf, they hinted at a new Tetragon of Darkness formation, one of each of the demon princes instead of the greater demons. It's just a demon prince. So there's definitely all parties represented up in this.
I can't wait to see that. Let's shift gears a little bit. I heard there was some heresy shit happening.
This weekend, or I guess depending on when you hear this, the 6th and the 7th is the Horus Heresy Weekender out in Nottingham. So they've already started showcasing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. We saw some a corn giant, I guess it is. There's a named giant for Age of Sigmar that everybody thinks that's what it will be unveiled. We're seeing stuff for the huge Mastodon tank. We saw some new Mechanicum today. It's just like literally we know stuff's coming. We already got a name of the next Horus Heresy book. Book 6 is releasing soon, but now they're saying book 7 is going to be Inferno. And for those of you out there that are kind of tired of the heresy novels just kind of dragging on, apparently there's going to be a panel at the event on Sunday, something about the solar battles, the solar system battle for Sol System.
What about, there's a new red book coming out for Horus Heresy, isn't there? As well?
Yep, and that was another preview from today as well for some of the legions that have been updated through books 4, 5, or I guess supposedly 6. I don't see why they wouldn't update it to 6.
Yeah, my question is it going to be like first one edition 2, or is they're going to keep the rules in that one and just add new stuff?
I think if you looked at the back, like it was 13 legions represented in it, and I don't think it duplicated, and I could be misspeaking here, but I don't think it duplicated any of the legions from the ones that had already been in the first Crusade book or Legion book. So I think, and of those, 2 don't even have their Primarchs yet. So are we going to see another Primarch this weekend? That's another big question.
Lehman Russ?
I think they'll probably wait from Prospero. I have this gut feeling that they're going to turn Prospero into like a three book kind of arc, kind of like they did with the initial Istvan Betrayal kind of series, or at least a 2-book series. I think we'll get 2 books out of it. It depends, but yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be an auto-include book, and then supposedly they went back and they're redoing or reprinting the Crusade, the Legion book, the smaller codex size one as well, and that's going to be out soon. So I'm sure this weekend, you head up on the internet. We'll cover it as best we can over on Spikey Bits. We got some other stuff going on this Saturday, but we'll try to be on top of it as quick as we can this weekend. As stuff's breaking and new models are getting shown and rules are all over the place. And
Spikey Bits. If you haven't heard, now you heard.
now you heard.
If you listen to this and haven't heard about Spikey Bits, I don't know how.
Yeah, now you know. Haspel, hit me with some more tech. I know that's not the end of Horus Heresy. I know it transcends the physical and goes to the digital.
Yeah. So this is kind of a violation of the whole tabletop marketplace because it's not a tabletop game. It's Talisman, the Horus Heresy is on pre-order right now on Steam and I guess on their website for Nomad Games. And it is an adaptation. It's basically, if you've played the old Talisman game, FFG has the license for it now, but Games Workshop made it back in the day, like 30 years ago. And it's a very, very solid board game, fantasy themed. They came out, Fantasy Flight did a kind of, it's like a soft reboot of it, I guess, to use a film term, called Relic, which was set in the 40k universe, which I actually like more than Talisman because it fixes some things and it makes the relics actually matter a little bit more. And it looks like they're taking that concept and making it based on the Horus Heresy. So, but it's going to be digital only. It's not a tabletop game. And right now it's, I guess $19 or something like that.
What kind of game is it?
It's essentially a digital board game. So it's a board game with dice and everything like that, but it's digital. It's not a physical thing. So it's just kind of, it's not for everybody, but,
does it use like other mechanics like deck building and stuff like that, or?
Honestly, I don't know from the looking at this. Talisman does a little ways, but not really like deck building. It's essentially with Talisman, it's a board game. You're going around, trying to solve different, you move around the board. You can move either way, trying to get your guy leveled up enough. And then you make a run for the center and try to win. So it's an odd little game because in the early turns of the game, it's very co-op. And then towards the end, as somebody becomes a clear front runner, it becomes, adversarial. So
can't wait to play
cool.
it at Adepticon with you. Well, we're gonna link all our iPads together and crush each other.
Or I'll bring Relic, and
the actual Relic.
Yeah, I'll bring the.
Yeah, do we get a reroll? Do we get a mulligan if we get the Grot? Because the Grot is just terrible.
Guys, I so want to be at Adepticon, but the Canadian dollar is just like punching me in the gut.
Oh, what's the conversion?
By the time he gets there, it's going to be literally like 70% more expensive for him than us.
Yeah, because right now it's like 41 cents or something, but that's like, for me to buy an American dollar, it costs like 145, 147 right now.
Wait, so like if we buy Canadian dollars with American dollars, does that get us free healthcare? Like if I just can I trade those
I mean, if you
like,
buy enough, you can come to Canada and use it.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you cheaper healthcare, I guess, but like, no Canadians don't want us buster ass Americans immigrating. We got to marry Canadians.
Wait, is that allowed? Is that a thing?
It certainly is. Get married for your health card, your health green card.
Yo, I need to start. I need to get up on some like Sunbury, Ottawa, or Sunbury.
You need to get on that. You need to get on the Tinder, Canada.
Get on that. OK, Canada.
Okay, Canada.
Yo, real quick though, before we go to commercial break, before the next segment, I did want to ask Kevin a few questions, in case anyone was confused if they hadn't listened and heard him before. Kevin has a YouTube channel called The Basement Collective. He's one of the partners of the Long War, adding some videos to the hall. And I know that you guys haven't had a lot of movement so far in 2016, but I think you were telling me that you guys have a lot of shit about to drop right now. Tell me about it.
Well, that's what's up. Like when we first started, about this time last year, we first started releasing a video a day, and that lasted for about 3 weeks. We realized, well, that's pretty dumb. We can't keep that up. But just, it's not our full-time job. We have school and whatnot. And then we started to release 3 videos a week. And then about, I'd say around May last year, I started getting voice issues. And I'm talking like medical issues and so forth. Nothing major, but that's now fixed. That took a whole 8 months to fix. So anyways, and I did a lot of the filming. My brother, who's also my twin, Irvin, helps out a lot with that. But anyways, we're finally back, and we've been filming a bunch. We started releasing videos this week, 3 videos a week. We're releasing a 40k battle report every week, and we have a pretty sweet setup. I mean, we have a really good camera. We only release, it's really good lighting. We only play with painted armies. And so we got a 40k battle report on Mondays. Wednesdays are going to be either an Age of Sigmar battle report every second week, or just a random video, a talk show, interview, unboxing. And then Fridays are always going to be an X-Wing battle report. And along with that, we're releasing 3 videos to the Long War every month that you can only see via the Long War, so you got to be a veteran to see this. And that's an additional 40k battle report, an additional Age of Sigmar battle report, and finally an additional X-Wing battle report.
Yo, I think you said that you guys had something coming out real soon for the Long War, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's we got one video that's shot. I need to edit it. I got some exams coming up, so hopefully I can get that to you guys Friday.
What, as a spoiler, what can the veterans expect to see? Like, what's the matchup?
Well, the matchup is Tau and Eldar, and they are not nice lists, so they're competitive lists.
Oh, I can't wait to see Tau and Eldar shit on each other.
1250 list, beautifully painted, full on terrain. It should be good.
That makes me really happy to hear. How about you, Haspel? How you feel about Eldar and Tau fighting each other?
That sounds really great. I'm reminded of this. This is a crazy statement, but it was a professor of mine in college, if I can call it that. We were talking about Stalingrad, and he said, "Nazis killing Russians, Russians killing Nazis. There are no good guys." And that's how I feel about Eldar.
Oh God! So this is the battle for Stalingrad, the bloodiest battle in human history. Tau versus Eldar.
It was bloody. I can guarantee that it was bloody.
Well, who's the Nazis in the Tau and Eldar world?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if Tau,
it's got to be the Eldar.
Space.
Yeah,
it's got to be the Eldar because the Tau are the communists. They're not really communists.
That's true.
But more communists than Eldar.
I've heard Tau are space Nazis before, though.
Tau they talk a big game. Like they try to like dazzle everyone with their words. You know, I mean, it's hard to tell. It could be like a different era of Russia. It could, you know what I mean? It could. But you're right. They both suck, and I hate them both. And I'm so glad to see them hit each other in the face on this exclusive piece of content that the Basement Collective is adding to the Hall of Veterans here really soon. Having said that, though, I do want to take a quick commercial break so we can hear from our sponsors. When we come back, we will be talking about a webcast recap.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at dicehead.com have rewarded us all with an extra 6% discount on all dicehead.com merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy. Veterans, have you been by thelongwar.net lately? New spoils are piling up. Sign up at thelongwar.net and claim your code to unlock valuable discounts at your favorite wargaming stores. Our friends at kingshobbiesandgames.com have added to that horde. An additional 5% off their already low prices. Sign up for free. thelongwar.net.
And we are back. Mike Haspel, will you please lead us in a webcast recap?
Alrighty, we've got a couple of decent questions here. Let's see. Roger asked, "How about doing a tutorial on the Long War comp system? Like, give an example of a max points army or an army that would get, that we would consider to get max points on comp."
That's a really good question. Roger Lonergan, first off, he's a beast.
Oh yeah,
I love him. We ran a big tournament last weekend. Up in the Fayetteville Hobbytown, USA, we had over 20 people. I think we had like 24 people. Kind of impromptu in the middle, like with very little promoting. A lot of people showed up. We kind of used it as a primer to kind of test some of our comp systems right after Mike did in Colorado. And we also used it as an opportunity to film the second installment of Inside the Mind of a Tournament Gamer, where we brought Juice in with his more casual Tyranids, almost a Highlander Tyranids army.
Mm-hmm.
Very close to Highlander, one unit exception. And he was great. I'm not going to spoil that. I'm going to let you guys see it. We even had a special guest round 2. You guys are going to love it. But we have a lot of intel, thanks to Roger himself, on how potentially we want to maximize this comp system. We are kind of all on the same wavelength here. And I do believe Rob and I will get together, do maybe a screen share or something, and we will drop something on the YouTubes, on the interwebs. And we will let you guys know as TOs in your own areas who want to use the Bring in Hobby Back system, a better way to use our literature to maximize Bring in Hobby Back. We might even be tweaking the literature here right after Adepticon. And Adepticon obviously is going to be the end of March, first weekend of April. If you haven't signed up and you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah.
You've been living under a rock once again.
Adepticon's a big thing. Yeah, special thanks to Roger. He definitely came in clutch, super clutch on helping with that tournament. And I think, we have a lot of ideas, and part of it works and part of it We can definitely improve on a little bit. I feel like,
We got a lot of theories. We've been around the block, and we're really good theorists. We're theoretical physicists in the world of 40k.
But when it comes into contact with the real world,
that's when we're reminded that I'm not a scientist. I don't know, what was I thinking? You know what I'm saying? So we gotta do some research.
Almost a little bit of anthropology comes into that, like how people culture and how their different groups of people interact with each other. It definitely comes into play a little bit, I feel like.
We did, and we will do our best at Adepticon, and we do have some support coming in from some of our new YouTube partners. We have Brush for Hire, who is rebranding themselves into Death Ray Design Studios. They're going to have a sick ass Kickstarter here soon. These guys are going to be at Adepticon, and they're going to be throwing some prize support, possibly some door prizes, some sick ass redemption cards to getting some of their new terrain there at Adepticon. So look forward to that, man.
Oh, nice.
Not to take it the subject, obviously. Haspel, please continue.
Oh, yeah. So Sal F had a question about whether we will have shot glasses for sale at Adepticon.
Yes.
Well, I promoted the ever living shit out of shot glasses to the point where I even annoyed some people online. First off, thank you guys for buying the shot glasses, because we did have minimum orders. We're not a manufacturing company, so every unit helped us not lose money on that. So we officially have not lost money on it, but we haven't made money yet. We have enough shot glasses to fulfill our orders and bring more than enough to Adepticon to sell. I do believe my estimates say we will probably have a limited supply of 30 shot glasses available for purchase during the Long War Doubles event at Adepticon. So yes, you can get the most legendary beverage container known to man for the very low price of $10 cash. American only. Not Canadian.
Not Canadian, yeah, that'd be like $5.75 cash or something. But you can use those shot glasses at Adepticon, can't you?
No, you can use them
in a responsible manner.
You can use them. You can use them in your bathroom. You can use them in your car. You can use them in your car.
We used to dunk our airbrushes in them. We'd fill them up with cleaner and put our airbrushes in them.
I currently have a shot glass right now on my desk with an airbrush sitting in it.
Yeah, it's like perfect for airbrushes. No, I'm not saying spend $10 and because you will destroy. You will never drink out of it again.
Don't limit yourself to just one thing that the shot glass can do. It's legendary. It's a legendary item.
It's like a small glass.
Yeah, dog. It's a legendary beverage container. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm going to go on a small tangent here because Kenny put in one of the videos that he was talking about, like all these gangster ghetto airbrush tricks that he had in there, and he was mixing paint in the actual
gumbo.
Yeah, in the actual airbrush pot, which to me was heresy of the worst kind.
Oh yeah.
I cringed when I saw him do it. But he mentioned a product that was like Vallejo Flow Improver or whatever.
So good.
Yeah, I got that. That product is the truth. Kenny is not a liar.
Game changer, son.
Get you that big size.
It is game changing. It is freaking amazing. So because you brought up the shot glass, I just wanted to segue.
Yeah, obviously, I'm committed on the next level painting side of the whole Long War Productions to a legit ass tutorial every week. And I do want to say, like, I am celebrating my year of success. January was my year of my channels. Rob helped me with that. This wasn't all an accident. We didn't just say, "Hey, now we have a YouTube channel with Next Level Painting. Let's do the Long War." No, we had a plan. We had a business plan. We've been talking about it for years. We've been friends for so long. So we rolled out with tutorials that let me get good at editing. Then we rolled out with battle reports, let me get even better at editing. And if you fast forward to where we are right now, like the Next Level Painting video tutorials are very clean, very informative. I do my best. I don't slack. I only do one a week because I do, like Kevin had mentioned earlier in the podcast, that you can't really go crazy trying to do something every day.
No, it sucks.
It's too much, and so the quality will slide. So I definitely take all the comments I get on YouTube. I take them on the Long War Facebook page, the Next Level Painting Facebook page, the Long War YouTube channel, on the Facebooks, everywhere. And I take them in and I do what I can to bring legit tutorials about my process. Because sometimes I take for granted, literally I paint 8 hours a day doing all these things. And I've been doing this for so many years that it's like, I got all these little tricks that like someone might care about the gangster gumbo. You know what I mean? Like I used to tell my constable, you can do this. My constable's like, you can't do this. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just show them that you can. You know what I'm saying? And like, so there was a missing piece of that
that's-
puzzle.
it
The
is
Vallejo
true.
air improver. Yeah, the flow improver was like, I never mentioned. I just assumed everyone knew to use some kind of flow improver.
I got Flow Improver, but I think it's not Vallejo, it's another brand. But speaking of tutorials, and this is like letting you guys know, I just got a Reaver Titan.
Nice.
Yeah, I got it. Actually, I didn't buy it. I had a War Machine army sitting around, huge amount of War Machines, and I didn't use it, so I traded it for a Reaver Titan. It's coming to me unbuilt, so I'm thinking I might throw some building tutorials up.
Please.
Oh yeah.
We actually have a super secret, not secret, we wouldn't tell people about it. We have not to one up you like America do, but just so you know,
It's gonna be that Warlord Titan.
Warlord Titan, son.
Oh.
We have a Warlord Titan assembly tutorial coming out soon too, so you might want to think about that just while you're there building your.
We run the whole gamut. It's all
while you're working on your Reaver.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I went and bought the drill because I had a screwdriver here, an electric screwdriver, because it didn't. So I went and bought the drill. I got 10 I guess it's 10 millimeter, 1 centimeter magnets ready to go.
Whoa,
I'm good to go.
Whoa. No magnets. Don't use magnets on the thing.
Why not?
Dude,
Free advice. It's your free advice.
Yeah, the best I found, and I actually learned this from Kenny's brother. Best way to do it's 1/8 inch dowels. You drill it out because
wooden dowel rods, man.
Yeah, the dowels expand into the hole. Like wood basically expands and it'll hold tension, and you can actually use dowels. It'll support the weight of the arms up.
You need like 100 magnets to hold that dude's arm.
Yeah, like I know this because I magnetized my Warhound at the hip or at the waist rather, and I had to use such a powerful magnet that I had to put a piece of plastic card across it to keep it from shattering, because the first time I did it, it shattered, and I was like, this is not good. So when I was thinking about the Reaver arms, I was like, yo, magnets are gonna shatter on this thing. I gotta be careful.
That's good. I've also been looking to, like, some people have set up the nut and screw thing at the top. That looks pretty interesting.
Yep, that's what I have. I did a Warlord. My boy Dom, one of my old employees at Next Level Painting, he did a Warlord Titan. All of it was with Allen key screws, every piece. But I'll tell you what, it was really secure, but it was obnoxious to break down and put new weapons on.
It seemed a little unpractical, to be quite honest.
It was the most secure thing I've ever seen. So what we're saying is there's multiple options. Mm-hmm. So obviously, Kevin at the Basement Collectors,
I'll send you some pics.
They're going to show you to do it with magnets. We're going to show you how to do it with dowel rods, and so you're going to be able to decide what you need for your project. That's going to be really easy, you know. And that's what we're talking about with YouTube partnerships, reaching out to all the people in the community who are trying to bring hobby back. We'll do it together.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
Yo, I kind of want to go out on a little tangent real quick.
Please, Robbie B, you don't do enough tangents. Hit me with one.
Yo, so Den of Imagination, they're a painting studio over in I think they're actually in the UK, but they're a Polish.
I think they're in Poland. I've got some work done by them in the past. I'm pretty sure it came from Poland.
Okay, I know I was talking to them for a while, and I forget. I get confused with people where they're from and what nationality they are. Regardless, they posted a picture up of their studio from like a high vantage point, and you can see a bunch of tables and these sweet ass lights, like full, like huge lights that arced over from the front of the desk, like right in people's faces, like bright lights. And I was like, immediately when I saw that picture, I was like, wow, that's a cool setup. Oh my God, what are those lights? I want that light right there. And it was funny because I clicked on the post and it went straight to Den of Imaginations. And that was like the third question. Somebody was like, yo, what are those lamps? And so I clicked on it. Like, I was like, yes, I hope it's on Amazon. I'm going to buy it now. And it's like a UK thing, and they're only in UK, and it's this different, not American stuff. And I was like, oh, so frustrated. So I literally have been searching the internet for every free waking hour for the past like 2 days. And I had like some time earlier today, and I was looking, I couldn't find anything, and I finally found it just now on Amazon.
Yeah,
why didn't you start on Amazon? I don't understand you.
Well, because here's the thing, like, it was hard to like try to figure out exactly like an apples to apples comparison, because you put in desk lamps and you get like stupid stuff for like, more conventional, not necessarily what we're doing. But I just found this one. It's called Daylight Company. UN1190 is the product number. 1190. It's called Natural Light Task Lamp. It's $172 for this lamp, but even in the pictures that I'm looking at right here, it like literally shows people working on like models and stuff. And it's like, I mean, it's This is very comparable, at least from what I can tell, to what the folks at Den of Imagination Studios had. And it's got the sweet arc arm. It's huge. It's got like a 39-inch reach, it looks like. I'm going to probably order one of these, just in case so I can return it and such. But I'm really stoked about this lamp.
That sounds like a better deal than my lamp.
Your lamp's actually really expensive. I saw that in here.
It's not.
That's like
$300. It's not that my lamp's expensive. It's just that I use it for multi roles. I have like a sick LED that's for photography and like video that I use for everything.
Oh, that.
But I also have an additional light arm that Cowboy Studio makes. That's like a C-stand for my light. So that's an additional cost. I got the lights, an additional cost, and it does everything that those guys' lights does. But it seems like it's twice as expensive. So I feel like I should just return it and get those guys' lights.
Yeah, I'll get you this link here.
The good old Canadian dollar has those lamps at me for 495 Canadian dollars. Amazon in Canada is good, but sucks compared to Amazon.
It's literally double, dude. Almost.
Yeah. Yeah, you might as well just have me buy it for you. Ship it to you.
Yeah, right.
On the Canadian Underground Railroad.
Or
we'll
UPS, whatever works.
We'll trade you for healthcare.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I got a free. I bet you the surgery I got last month would be more expensive than this light. So.
Yeah, stop complaining. I hate you.
I can tell you that the root canal I got on Monday was more expensive.
Haspel, hit us up. Finish out this webcast recap for us.
All right, we've got two more. Brent Bator asked, would we rather have +1 ballistic skill or preferred enemy? Ooh. And he's talking about it really in the context of like an armored company versus
shooting. So obviously, I don't think it takes very much discussion. Preferred enemy is a force multiplier that should always be better than +1 ballistic skill.
Yes, sir.
Because it works in both.
Statistically, It's not. I mean, statistically, it's a bit worse than the +1 ballistic skill normally. But with rerolling wounds, it's way better 100% of the time.
And especially, it also depends on what your BS is. If you're talking about like this many units versus this many units, but if you're saying BS4 goes to BS3, there could be an argument because BS3 with preferred enemy is a different monster than BS4 with preferred enemy. So like I would say BS3 with preferred enemy is better than BS2, but BS4 going to BS3 is probably better than BS4 preferred enemy. It would be my opinion, because you'd only be rerolling one, like the one dice.
Yeah, and because he is talking about like armored company versus steel host, I'm assuming he's talking about shooting at vehicles, in which case you don't get to reroll to wound.
Well, I mean, there's different formations in there, but like I do believe the majority of the units he's talking about are going to be BS4 base or BS3 base. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm probably being confused. So if you hit on a 4, preferred enemy is not that good. So going to BS3 is a huge bonus, a huge boon. But if you hit on a 3, rerolling 1s to hit and then 1s to wound is far superior. I believe is what I was trying to say.
No, I definitely agree with you on that, without a doubt. Like I would rather have that.
I just feel like I'd always choose preferred enemy.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
It's really close. You know what I'm saying?
It's psychological too. You're like, I get to reroll 1s because nobody wants to see 1s.
I like interacting. I like to reroll 1s. What's the last one, my man?
All right, so this is a really good question. I feel I know it's from V1 Omega. He asks, how do you know if you should expand your army or build a new one? Ooh. And he plays chaos, and so he says the struggle is real.
I got this answer right here. If you have money in your bank account, you should buy more armies and start a new one.
And if you don't, you just expand to the current one you have?
No.
You just summarize. So if you're broke, you just keep working on what you got.
No. If you're broke, you probably don't buy anything at all, to be honest. You don't want to be using credit to buy Warhammer.
There's some truth to that.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. Well, here's what
he's speaking as a fiscally responsible person, not
we'll call me fiscally.
Your average 40k gamer.
No, I am the average 40k gamer. Trust me. Here's what I think. I think if you're bored with what you're playing with right now, spice it up with some new units for your current army. If you're bored with the army overall, then definitely pick up, try something different, and then if you like them, buy a new army. Or if you like me and collect all the armies, when you see a good deal, buy them.
Or you could even ally something in. Like if you're like, yo, I'm not feeling this 2,000 points of X. I think this is the best way to say it now. Now that I've heard all you guys said,
if you owned one fucking army and that's it, buy a new fucking army.
Well, yeah.
One army is not enough.
You're always eyeing something.
One army is not enough. If you already have two armies, I think that you can just keep spicing it up with new units, like what Kevin was saying, and what Rob was saying. And if you feel like you're at an impasse, that's when you get on Facebook, go to your hobby groups, and you ask people what else do you need, so you can get other people's opinions from the community. Because you could be playing Chaos Space Marines, you could be like, yo, literally I've hit a wall here, but then you could talk to me and you could realize you're not playing all the units I'm playing, because I'm having a blast playing Chaos Space Marines.
You don't have enough Helldrakes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly, for example. So I think that you need to have more than one army at your disposal to be truly happy in this community. But if other than that, I think it's to each his own.
I think with the advent of 6th and 7th editions, with the emphasis on a lot of allies and detachments, $85 gets you a new starter kit, man. Like, it gets you an HQ, 2 troops, and an elite or a heavy. So, and that you can ally in to your force and see if you like it. And you might wind up usurping your original force with a whole new army. There's not a whole lot of risk to branching out anymore. It used to be, back in like 4th and 5th, that if you wanted to start a new army, you had to be committed to start a new army. Like, because you're going to build 2,000 points of that new army. Now you don't have to. You can build 400 points, just a little allied force, that you throw in. And I'm not really feeling these guys. It doesn't work. Or these guys are so tight. They're money. I'm going to start building out all these dudes. So my vote would be to branch out.
Rob? You feeling him?
I was muted.
Oh, classic Rob Bear.
I don't know what Rob's opinion. My opinion is, if I ever see a good deal on an army and I can afford to buy it, I'm going to buy it, because, we'll talk about it later, but I do have an eventual goal that I'd like to see.
I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I think getting good deals is good. Obviously, don't overextend yourself. I have a personal psychosis that Kenny tends to yell at me about from time to time. But
I apologize for that last weekend, and I said I wouldn't do it anymore.
I like, by the way, when I'm mad at Kenny, he sends me endless kitten apology memes. So I have a bank of those in case I ever screw up. I'm going to send them back to him.
What do you mean, whenever you screw up?
I've only had to send them to you once.
Yeah, that's true.
I have an endless stream ready to go, though.
You do. You're just waiting. I'm going to
rapid fire apologetic cat memes.
He's all mad at me, and then like I said, I'm like, a kitten meme, then another kitten meme, then another, and he's like, stop it. I can't stay mad at you.
It's so funny. No, I mean, obviously always look for deals, and that's what I told people when I had my game store. I was like, hey, look, I realize that there's always going to be good deals on eBay. There's always going to be good deals locally, on used stuff and things like that. But, I was always upfront with people. I was like, yo, we offer a discount on, the new in-box product here at the store, or you can get used stuff from the case. I feel like, we can definitely satisfy your needs there, so definitely try to throw some love at your local shop if they're throwing it back. If not, it is what it is. It's all personal preference there. But I'm definitely an advocate of that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I say support your local shop first, but then, like, I'm on all the Facebook trading groups, so I do see the deals there. Just like, I try and throw some love both ways for my wallet and the shop.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that point where you're like, hey, this guy's got a mad sick deal. Let me scoop it up. Like our boy Lucas, friend of the show. The other day, he's like, basically buys and fixes cars on the side when he's not barely tabletop painting, he's barely tabletop automotive, and he's basically working his way up to a car so he can sell off his current car and not have a payment. So it's like, baby steps. He's like, yo, when I'm done, I'm gonna have a car for like less than $1,000, but I'm putting all this time into fixing cars up and flipping them and putting it back in, stuff like that. Like, don't be afraid to get a good deal. Just don't overextend. And some deals are not deals. You have to put time into them. But time is money, et cetera, et cetera.
This is pretty good. Rob, take us into our meat and potato segment on the Wulfen. Wulfen are people too.
Wulfen are people too. So they got some really juicy rules, and you probably saw the article on Spikey Bits about like first turn assault, and there's a little bit of points of conjecture there, like if the Wulfen special rule confers to models that join the squad, i.e. they can run and assault. Chances are they probably can't because the way it says this unit, which I don't know. How do you feel about that?
It says models in the target. It says models in like the unit. Like
no,
it gives you a list of units it works on, and if you're not one of those units, it wouldn't work on you. Is my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like the Curse of the Wulfen chart itself will not work on.
But do you have that info? Because like people might not understand.
Yeah.
This chart,
Okay. So first off, the first point I wanted to talk about was this thing called bounding lope. The unit can run in charge this unit can run in charge in the same turn and reroll failed charge rolls. So what does that mean to you?
So give me one more reiteration on that.
This unit.
Okay, got it.
Can run in charge in the same turn and can reroll failed charge rolls.
So I mean, a unit's a unit. So like anybody joined to the unit is the unit.
That's definitely one way of looking at it.
I'm not sure. Is it a transferable unit? Like, is it a transferable rule, or is it saying like this unit mean this unit of Wulfen?
If they don't have it, if it's not a universal special rule outlined in a main codex, we can only go by what's in this codex.
Correct.
And if that is all it says, if it just says this unit, then independent characters who join a unit are considered as part of the unit. And so, unless we get another caveat or another piece of intel on there, independent characters would also gain that ability.
And if that is the case, then you can do silly stuff like you can automatically take Samael, the Master of the Raven Wing. He gives you Rapid Maneuver Warlord trait, which gives you +3 to your run and +3 to your charge, making these guys get crazy fast, crazy quick, and able to.
If you can stack those two elements, that would be such a beast move.
Now,
which is also kind of thematically lame because it's Dark Angels and Space Wolves.
Which actually there's blurbs in the pictures that have been spotted for the White Dwarf about how the Dark Angels and the Space Wolves are already getting into a fight during this whole campaign, and the Grey Knights are actually there too. So it doesn't make any sense, thematic wise, but when you start doing that and then now throw in a few characters on Thunderwolf mounts, and now you've extended all their ranges. Well, even Samael's on 12-inch range. So if you take all that into account, you have a theoretical, if it works, not saying it works, but even if it doesn't work and you take those elements out, you have, I think it was like a 29-inch threat range. If you put those elements in, you have a 45-inch threat range maximum. That's like almost the whole short board edge, Even if you want to get fluffy with it, and you want to throw these guys. How you
this 45?
I broke it down on Spikey Bits. I think it's like, so you get 15 extra inches of movement between Samael buffing +3 to the run and +3 to the charge. So then remember too that if these guys can run and charge in the same turn, so you got a run which is D6 +3. Now you've got a charge which is 2D6 +3. So that's a maximum of 15 right there. Then you've got a maximum of 12, or D6 is 4, so 7 on the run, right? What was the other thing too? I forget. So he gives you
your normal movement.
Yes, plus your normal 6-inch movement. And then, that's what it was. If you get the Wild Savagery special rule, which is a curse, or it's not really a special rule, you roll off the Curse of the Wulfen chart on a 4 or 5 under Hunt. Now, this would definitely not confer, I don't feel like, to anybody that is not on the specific list. And the specific list is Blood Claws, Sky Claws, Swift Claws, Long Fangs, Fenrisian, any units of Fenrisian Wolves or Servitars are all the only ones affected by this. But you get a 3-inch, you add another 3-inch to the max move distance of all units in the affected unit when they move in the movement phase, when they run, and when they make charge moves. So you couple that with Samael, it's an extra 15 inches of movement. But by that terminology, it would not confer to Thunderwolf Cavalry or Samael himself. So, it's kind of a touch and go thing. But you don't need that to still have a ridiculous threat range. I mean, you can even, me and Kenny and Mike were talking about this earlier. You can throw these guys in a daggone Land Raider. You move 6, you get an extra movement of 6 right there. You deploy out, you run, you do your shenanigans. You still have a decent threat range, well into most people's deployment zone.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's basically another Thunderwolf-esque unit for the Space Wolves. They're going to be played like Thunderwolves, in my opinion.
But what do you guys think about their survivability?
Well, I'm working on some ideas right now. Now, like, the only problem they have is the T4. Their toughness 4. So right now, it's hard to say that they're OP compared to Thunderwolves right now. Thunderwolves are competitively priced, and I don't care how many add 3 inches and how many runs and charges you have. Moving 12, charging 2d6 with fleet is better every day of the week, and being toughness 5 with the Storm Shield better almost every day of the week than T4 with the Storm Shield and Feel No Pain.
But I don't know. It's just for me. I feel like on paper, strength the T4 Feel No Pain and Storm Shield's better. But then you have your two models that can be
anyone you play against of any level of competency is going to target appropriately how they need to. When you play against Space Wolves, you need Strength 10. When you play against Thunderwolves, when you play against these, you don't need Strength 10. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's a problem. So here's the thing. It's like a lot of people use Second Powers. I have to enfeeble a Thunderbolt squad down once to make Strength 8 work. If I enfeeble a Wulfen squad down, Strength 6 and above once they kill them. There's other combos in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a survivability issue right there. Now, there's a lot of war gear options, though, that make these guys compelling. We've talked about in the last podcast that for 250 points, you can have a unit of these guys with Storm Shields and Thunderhammers. That's Terminator point cost. That's 2 wounds. That's 3 up invulnerable, Feel No Pain. That's Strength 10 Thunderhammers. That's 3 attacks base. They potentially get to attack twice in a combat because if you kill them, they still get to swing. So I still think these guys have amazing play. Now, they have to be in a transport to be effective, though, because if they're walking to battle, they will die. They will die. They will die.
Toughness 4, they will die.
They will die. Like, they will just die in their regular armor save. There's just too many things that kill them.
And their only dedicated transport is the Stormwolf. Would you guys take the Stormwolf?
I actually love the Stormwolf, and I'm actually working on something right now. So here's kind of like where I'm thinking at. Like, I would play this, and this is something that Mike Haspel's going to love because this is near and dear to Mike Haspel. So I would play these guys. You can play these guys in a 3 detachment scenario, and I would play them with the Codex Inquisition, and I would take Hector Rex. I would also play them with the Nemesis Strike Force, Grey Knights, and I would take a level 3 Librarian with whatever you want additionally to him, and I would take whatever your minimum troop you wanted, either Terminator Squad or Strike Squad. I kind of like Terminators, but I will cut those points if I have to, and I'll take my 2 decked out Nemesis Dread Knights. Then I'll take obviously Space Wolves, and I'll get a Rune Priest who's level 2. I'll get some whatever troop I need, and I'll get a Stormwolf. I'll max that Stormwolf out with the multi-meltas because 2 twin leg multi-meltas and a frost cannon and a 20 model troop capacity is pretty serious business. And so since you can hold 20 models in this thing, you can put your Terminator Armor Librarian in here. You can put your Rune Priest in here. That's only 3 spots. Put Hector Rex in there. That's only 4. So you could put 16 Wulfen in here.
Wow. Would Hector Rex count as 2 though? Because he's in Termi armor.
Is he in Termi armor? I thought he just had 2.
He is.
So he's in Terminator armor. So, okay, word. You got 14 Wulfen in here. Whatever you want. 10, or sorry, not 14 Wulfen. I guess 8 Wulfen or whatever. 7 Wulfen. So, whatever. 7 Wulfen, whatever. The linchpin, though, is I would take the Sky Shield landing pad with ready to take off.
There you go.
So I can deploy the Stormwolf on the table. It would also have a 4+ invulnerable if you needed it to, whatever you needed. And that whole combo is like less than 1,300 points.
Yeah. Why do you do these things to me? I own all that stuff.
It's less than 1,300 points. Less than 1,300 points. So what Hector Rex does is he has Sanctuary. It's cheapest Sanctuary to get.
Yeah.
So now this unit has 2+ invulnerables. So you have Hector Rex's Master level 2, Rune Priest level 2. You have 2 Nemesis Dreadnoughts that are each level 1. You have the troops. You have plenty of warp charge points to get off a Sanctuary. So now these fools have a 2 up invulnerable all day. So that's a completely different. That's a game changer.
Do you go for invisibility?
2 up, 5 up. You kind of don't need invisibility at that point.
You don't need it. Yeah.
So like now you can go for actually more interesting things like invisibility if you need it. You know what I'm saying? But there's other powers that you can get that matter, like roll on biomancy, get endurance.
For endurance.
Endurance. So now they would have a 4+ funeral pain and be eternal warrior, so you couldn't insta kill them. So all of a sudden, a 2+ invulnerable with eternal warrior and a 4+ funeral pain is better. Like I like that more than invisible because people can modify invisibility, but having to be like got to get through my 2-up and my 4-up, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying?
Plus, too, there's a definite feel badsy when you say invisibility.
Yes, people feel bad when you say invisible. People, you know what I'm saying? So there's other powers. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do get him infinity out of combat, so you have a poor man's hit and run. Like if you get bogged down in a close combat with a horde, you can potentially have your Grey Knight Librarian get you out of that combat. There's other things, but like right out the gate, just play an aggressive list. Like if you go first, you can shove 2 Dread Knights up 30 inches. Move a Stormwolf up 12. Flat at it.
First turn deep strike of the Terminators.
And Terminators. So basically, you can do a big ass Terminator squad, deep strike in their backfields, shut 2 Dread Knights up, and flat out this Stormwolf that you deployed on the table with the Sky Shield Landing Pad. Turn 1, you've completely just surrounded them with all these amazing units, and that is not some stupid. This is like a cool list. You have the Inquisition and the Grey Knights showing up to keep the Space Wolves in check. And shit broke out. You know what I mean? This isn't Dark Angels and Space Wolves.
I have all those models too, so I don't know.
And this combo I'm talking about, that's less than 1,300 points, man. You still got 500 points, dog. You can do whatever you want still, man. You can do all sorts of cool things. Long fangs, rhinos for you dudes. You can just say, yo, I got 20 Terminators that are deep striking in turn 1. Like you can do anything you want. You can just say, you know what? It's not Nemesis Strike Force anymore. It's but like there's a million things you can do. So right out the gate, I'm thinking
you could take a CAD. You could
take a CAD,
shunt
but like
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. If you want to do more, if you want to be my Caspel and do more Dread Knights, you can do a CAD. If you want to deep strike everything turn 1 and you want to keep Nemesis Strike Force, do more Terminators, maybe even Drago, can join up with the Wulfen inside of there, and he gives them gate, so it's automatic. I'm just saying.
2+ invul Drago rolling around the 2+ invul master.
And then you get bogged down to combat, and he just gates you guys out on turn 4, and then you take some objective in the backfield. Like, yo, seriously, there's fun things to do. Like that's off the cuff. That's off the cuff combos. I would play that. That's hilarious. That's very exciting. The models look interesting. You can talk about all these little Death Stars you want all day, but like. You don't see a Stormwolf sitting on a Sky Shield landing pad with ready for takeoff, coming in hot, turn 1. That's aggro. Like, I love it. And you have guns, and you have close combat, you have Gatling silencers, you have whatever you want. That's just, that was me just hearing what you guys said, looking at trying to get the high score in Army Builder. That's day 1. There's a million combos here. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination a Wulfen is OP. It is definitely not OP. I do think that it's exciting and it's the right step in the right direction to make Space Wolves have a complete codex that are more than just the company, the Great Wolf, elite abuse.
Which also in some of the previews in the White Dwarf, it's saying something about that there will be formations for the great companies. Because apparently the great companies go out trying to find the Wulfen. They start hearing about the Wulfen.
Will this be just will the Wulfen be a formation, or will it just be an additional force organization charge to the codex?
It's hard to say. The Wulfen are definitely a data sheet themselves. So apparently there's also going to be formations for the Space Wolves. Some of them are great companies. Don't know from there.
So if they're their own formation, though, that can put a big monkey wrench. If the Wulfen unit itself,
I don't think so. And I think it's an elite choice. It looks like.
That's a major concern, because if it ends up being an elite choice, not to cut you off there, my man, if it ends up being an elite choice straight up, then you would just still take it. It'll ruin shit. You can still be coming to the Great Wolf. That means you can take 1 HQ, 2 elites, or three elites, and a Stormwolf still. Like, you can do it. You don't have to take anything else. You can take your Wound Priest, you can take your unit of Wulfen, you can take your Stormwolf, and you can take 2 single elite choices of any type, including literally a single stupid servitor for 5 points or whatever, 10 points or whatever he is. So that would actually be worse for the hobby if it was just a basic elite choice.
I think
I think that's what it is, the basic elite choice. I know because my brother's like, I have a 13th company army that I bought. I bought this, I saw it converted, painted, it was awesome, so I bought it. And I didn't know the Wulfen was coming out. I actually had some of the old school Wulfen in it, so I'm pretty excited for this. But my brother plays Space Wolf as his main army, and when he heard it was elite, I think he literally jumped up and down. Now my brother's a big dude; he don't jump up and down often, but he's like, yeah. So I think you're not going to see the company the Great Wolf go away with the Wulfen.
So yeah, that means you can take 2 12-point servitors, a Wulfen squad, and a Rune Priest to unlock. So instead of having instead of having to buy like a Bloodclaw squad for 60 points, you can take 24 points in servitors. So I mean, so basically that's even. I mean, if you're trying to be competitive, that's even better, I guess. You know.
What do you think about for 2 points? You can give them the auto launcher.
Oh, have we determined what the auto launcher is yet?
So let's see. Where does it say 2 points? May take the Stormfang auto launcher page. Okay, so
it's not just frag grenades and crack grenades?
Well, check it out. So it's a shooting attack, 12 inches, strength 4, AP 5, assault D3. They're probably going to be running it most of the time, but I guess they could use it in Overwatch. Models in the unit that includes one or more models equipped with the Storm Frag auto launchers do not suffer the penalty to their initiative for charging enemies through difficult terrain.
Frag and crack grenades. Me and Juice predicted that's what it would be. It is meaningless. We're running them with Storm Shields and Thunderhammers. Like you want a unit of strength 10 dudes. Like no one could question that they're strength 10. They are strength 5 in their profile. They're not war gear or anything.
But it seems like you would only have to take one for 2 points as long as
So if you took the guy with the Frost Claws, if you took the one guy with the Frost Claws, you buy him the auto launcher.
Yeah.
But initiative 1 is not the worst. I mean, for them, they have a better initiative 1 than anyone else because they get to attack automatically.
Yeah, and if they die, they get to attack.
So at initiative 1, if they die, they're going to be guaranteed that attack at least.
So they got the Great Frost Axe, which swings in initiative the first turn, but then it has repeat swing, so subsequent rounds they're swinging in initiative.
To me, that's the least good weapon they have.
It is.
The Frost Claws, I would take 1 Frost Claw, maybe 2 if you took like a 7 or 8 man squad. All of them Thunderhammer, Storm Shields. Hector Rex it up.
Mm-hmm.
Get him a 2+ inaudible. Don't play games. Toughness 4 is a problem. It's a concern. You need to keep these guys alive.
Yep.
Because you will fail saves. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're toughness 4 and you're 3+ inaudible. Like you'll fail saves, man. You know.
Hector Rex is taking what's it called? Perils of the Warp on any doubles though, so you got to remember that.
Yeah, that is true because he does not have that Grey Knight rule where he can.
Right. So for, if points were a commodity, for like literally like 18 or 20 more points, you can just take my man, brother.
Yeah, Stern will do this.
Is it 18? Thing. Stern's 175, isn't he?
No, Stern, like Hector Rex is like 175.
What? Yeah, Stern's 185, I think.
Oh, right. I have my points way off.
So Stern, if you were worried about that and you had the points, Stern. But if you needed to cut 10, 15 points, but Stern will do it for you. Stern also has a lot of cool other powers. But what I'm saying is, if you play this combo, they will have a 2-up invulnerable. Good to go. Take other MSU units. You can play this unit for fun. But if you want to be abusive and you wanted to try to interpret rules the most powerful, most abusive way possible, you can do anything you wanted with Samael. You can do anything else. But like we're talking about bringing hobby back and trying to make things cool, but also strong. I just don't like people joining Dark Angel squads and Space Wolf squads together to make super friends.
Hey, we know they fight. I would rather see like people running out of Stormwolves and Land Raiders and running across the table, but stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, even then, like if you were allowed to take 2 CADs and 2 fortifications, you could take 2 Sky Shield landing pads, 2 Stormwolves, 2 units of Wulfen, and 2 separate Stormwolves on top of 2 ready to take off Sky Shields and come at you.
Yeah, theoretically, you very well could. That's a good point too.
But I'm going to say the point of the episode is that Wulfen are people too. They're not OP. If you want to talk about OP, 51-point Eldar Jetbike unit is OP. I gotta bring it full circle. I haven't hated on Eldar for 15 minutes.
Oh man, that chip. That's a chip Kenny has, Mike.
Yeah, my chip is just everything GW, but Kenny's got to go back and fight the Eldar.
God, I've been fighting against Eldar since I started 40k back in like 1997, 1998, third edition. I used to play against this guy, and his name was Dios. He's just, literally his name was Dios. Down in Miami at this place, a store called Alternate Dimensions. We go out there and play, and he had a stupid bunch of dudes standing in front of a bunch of dudes with a bunch of stupid star cannons, just literally just killing all my guys week after week after week. I was like, is this real? There's no way these rules are real. We're not playing the same game. And that's back in the late 90s, man. Nothing has changed. They've been a bane of all my existence since the 1998.
Yep. There's no doubt there. Man, this episode flew by, huh?
Yeah, it did, man.
Yeah, we've been at it.
So much to talk about. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more next week, too, when we start actually seeing more on these guys. So I can't wait for that.
Let me, if we're gonna close this show up, let me read a message from Juice. If nobody else has anything to add,
Oh, go ahead.
okay. Well, let's end this show with a statement from Juice and a little prequel to that, in case anyone hasn't been following along. Juice's father has been battling with stage 4 stomach cancer for a year, and that battle has come to an end. And Juice, who couldn't be here with us tonight or on the webcast, he starts off by saying, "I wish I was there, y'all. I'm with my mom. Please express to everyone how much it has meant to me and my family to have received so many kind words and prayers. My father's fight is over, and it is now time to pick up the pieces. Thank you guys, and good night." Bonus content and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.